Britain now has its third Prime Minister in 2 months. Rishi Sunak's appointment was formalised at an audience with Head of State King Charles at Buckingham Palace. The former Finance Minister gained the support of the ruling Conservative Party after his main rivals stepped aside. At 42 years old, he'll be Britain's youngest head of government for more than 400 years. He takes over from Liz Truss, who beat him to the job 7 weeks ago and was then forced to resign after upsetting financial markets with her economic plans. After his audience with the King, Mr Sunak headed to his new residence at 10 Downing Street, where he addressed the country as Prime Minister for the first time.
I will place economic stability and confidence at the heart of this government's agenda. This will mean difficult decisions to come. The government I lead will not leave the next generation, your children and grandchildren, with a debt to settle that we were too weak to pay ourselves. I will unite our country, not with words, but with action.
Well, DW correspondent Burgett Mass is now outside 10 Downing Street. Welcome, Burgett. Talk us through the highlights of this speech.
Well, I thought it was quite striking that he actually started by almost criticising his predecessor, Liz Truss. He said he's coming in order to fix the problems that were created by the previous government. So that was quite striking. He then was also a little bit conciliatory and said that he obviously also supported her government and also thanked Boris Johnson for the majority that he has achieved in 2019 for the Conservative Party. So, you know, quite a lot of party politics are there to start with. And then it's really about his programme. So he needs to spell out a little bit in more detail what exactly he wants to achieve as Prime Minister. But I think he's given a taster. So he was emphasising that he does not want the generations to come with the debts and that that this generation and basically here and now the debts need to be settled. So that probably means budget cuts or tax rises. It's going to be very difficult for him. He's somebody who is incredibly wealthy himself, together with his wife. They are thought to be wealthy of hundreds or millions of pounds, but he will be the one to tell the British people that they basically have to live with cuts. That's at least is expected, and he has given a taster of what there might be to come.
Yes, a cost of living crisis, which we're all facing, one of his pressing issues. What else is at the top of his list?
Well, Phil, the cost of living crisis, obviously, that's the backdrop that he was elected into. So many British people have problems. There are pensioners who are not daring to boil themselves a cup of tea just because they think it's going to eat into their electricity budget, and families who don't know how to feed their children, how to put warm food on the table for their children, or people afraid to heat their homes. So there is really a lot of hardship already in the UK, and Rishi Sunak will have to strike a balance. He will have to help those people who are most in need. But on the other hand, he also is saying that he does want to balance the books, so he doesn't want to continue to increase the debt. So he needs to really flesh out how exactly that's going to work. Is he going to ask the better off in society to pay more, or is he going to be very, very drastic, and are there going to be a lot of cuts in public services? He says he wants to bolster the health service and also education. So he has said what he wants to achieve, but how is that going to work if he also needs to look really for cuts in government budgets?
Okay, thank you for that, Burgett. To Burgett Mass in London.